Hi, I'm Katie Jones and this is your Halloween cow, so grab your hooks and your yarn and join me for making the skull patch. Our skull patch is worked in 3 sections. We start off with a magic loop and we work 1 round and 2 round in complete rounds. We then finish off with working a partial row to get our jawline for the 3rd section. I'm going to be taking you step by step through all the techniques and stitches used, and I'll be explaining in both UK and US terms. To follow along with me, you want to grab yourself a hook and some yarn in a weight that matches your hook. And if you're working along with the Halloween cowl, you can check the description below to see what hook size and yarn you should be using for your different outcomes. This is the right-handed guide. If you're after the left-handed guide, you can click here. And then you want to grab your hook and your yarn and follow along with me to make your skull patch. To start our skull patch off, we want to make a magic loop or magic circle for the centre. So I'm taking my yarn, I'm leaving a nice end as this becomes a drawstring for your magic loop, so don't leave this too short. Taking your yarn, and how I like to set up my magic loop and what I find easiest is I lay this over my palm, I pinch in to hold. I'm going to wrap this over my 2 fingers so it crosses and then bring it all the way across and I just hold it with my little finger in place. With my hook, I come under that first wrap and grab the second, pulling through to make a loop, twist round. I'm going to pinch this while I take my fingers out so it doesn't drop. And then I'm going to set up my hand, not with the tail, so I set up my hand, switch my pinch so I can hold in place, and then I'm going to hold my magic loop in place by working 1 chain, so yarn over, pull through. And there you can see I've made my loop and I've got my tail of yarn, and what we want to make sure is when we're working into our loop that we're going over both strands, because this needs to become a drawstring to shrink up the central hole. And magic loops are great for when we're working lots of stitches into the centre. It gives us a bigger space to work and then we can squeeze them in by pulling our drawstring. So now we've made our loop, we're ready to set up our hand and begin our round 1. And I don't count this first stitch on my hook. This is just holding my magic loop in place. And so I'm going to start round 1 by working 5 chains. So I'm yarning over 1, yarning over 2, yarning over 3, yarning over 4, yarning over 5. So I've worked 5 chains out, and now I'm going to work my first main stitch. So I'm going to be working a UK treble, which is a US double crochet, and we're working that into the centre. So to work one of these, I'm going to yarn over, create 1 wrap on my hook, and then come into the centre, hook my yarn from the back, pull through to the right side of the loop, and I should have 3 loops on my hook. I've got 3, I want to yarn over, pull through 2, I'm left with 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And make sure you get all the stitch. So I've worked my first UK treble, which is a US double crochet. I now want to chain 3. So yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 3. And I'm now going to work 7 UK trebles or US double crochets into this loop in a row. So I'm working 7 of those longer stitches. So I'm yarning over into the middle, grabbing my yarn from the back, pulling through. I've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's my first. So yarn over into the centre, grab, pull through. I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm left with 1. And I want to work 7 of these in a row in total. So yarn over, in, pull through, you get your 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, in, up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 more to go, yarn over, into the centre, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So just double check that you've got 7. I find the easiest way to count the sides of the stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm now going to chain 3 again. So yarn over 1, 2, 3. And then I want to join into the start of my round. So to get round to this edge, I'm going to hold the drawstring tail of my magic loop. I like to pinch to secure, and then I'm just going to tug, and that's going to close up that middle loop. And now I'm ready to join to complete my first round, and I want to join in the 3rd chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and you can check we had 5 chains, so we should have 2 here, 1, 2, and we're in that 3rd chain. And to secure, so we get a nice strong join, I like to go through the chain. I make sure I've got 2 strands of the chain on the top and 1 strand below. It just gives you a nice strong join. And I'm joining in a slip stitch. So I've gone into the stitch with my hook, yarn over, pull through that stitch and pull through the loop on my hook. So you pull through everything at once, and that completes your round. And you can now see we've made some of our face. So this is the top of our skull, and these are our eyes and our nose hole. So I'm now going to start round 2. And so for round 2, I want to chain 1 stitch, and that gives us our height out. As I'm now going to work in the chain space, and I'm going to work a UK double crochet, which is a US single crochet. And 1 chain is the same height out as the depth of our stitch. So into this chain space, going over the chain, we're going to work 2 of these stitches. So we don't wrap first, we go into the chain space, yarn over and hook our yarn from the back, pull through. We've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both to complete the stitch. And that is a UK double crochet or a US single crochet. We're going to work 1 more of these into the chain space. So in, no wraps, yarn over, pull through, should have 2 on our hook, yarn over, pull through both. And that's 2 worked in the chain space. We're now going to work 1 double crochet in UK terms or 1 single crochet in US terms into the top of that treble stitch from the round below. So we're now working back into the top of the stitch under the 2 strands of the stitch because we're working in the whole stitch. Come through, hook our yarn, bring through to the front. We've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both. We're next going back into the next chain space, and we're going to work 1 more of our UK double crochets or our US single crochet. So into the space, grab the yarn from the back, pull through. We've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both. And then continuing working into that space, we want to work 2 UK half trebles or 2 US half double crochets. So to work these, we're going to yarn over our hook like we did for a UK treble or a US double crochet. We're going to go into the space, hook our yarn from the back, pull through. So we've got 3 loops. So until this section, it's working the same. but we're making a smaller stitch. So now we yarn over and we pull through all 3 at once to make our smaller UK half treble or US half double crochet. So we want to work 1 more of those. So we yarn over into the space, hook the yarn, bring through. We've got 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. For the next section, going over the top of the head, we want to increase, and we're now going to be working between our stitches. So we're not working into the top of the stitch, we're working between our stitches, and between each of the stitches in this next section, we're going to be increasing. So we're going to be working 2 UK trebles or 2 US double crochets between each of the stitches below. So to work these, we want to yarn over once, into the space between stitches, hook our yarn, come through. We've got 3 loops on our hook. Then we yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then I'm going to work 1 more of these. So I yarn over, into the space between stitches, grab my yarn from the back, pull through. I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you can see there I had a little bump on my yarn. I obviously have a knot, a join in my yarn. It's fallen to the back of the work, so I'm just going to leave it there. And then I want to repeat that. So I've worked 2 of those stitches between the stitch below. In the next space along, I'm going to work 2 more. So I'm working 2 UK trebles or 2 US double crochets into the space between stitches. So I've worked 2 into the next space. I'm doing the same. So yarn over into the space. Grab your yarn, pull through. You've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 more of those. So yarn over into the space, grab. I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you want to keep working 2 of these stitches between each of the stitches in this set along the edge. So you will be doing 6 sets of 2 in total. So you should have worked 12 stitches. So that's 12 UK trebles or US double crochets in total along that top edge. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you've come back to where you've got your next chain space, we want to work back into the chain space, and I'm going to be working, first of all, 2 UK half trebles or 2 US half double crochets. So we're wrapping again, going into that chain space, hooking our yarn, bringing it through. So we've done the same as the longer stitch, but now we're going to yarn over and pull through everything. And I'm working 1 more of those. So yarn over into the space, hook the yarn from the back. I've got 3, yarn over, pull through everything. And then I'm working a smaller stitch still back into the space. So I'm working my UK double crochet or my US single crochet. So I don't wrap, I go into the space, hook the yarn, pull through. I've got 2, yarn over, pull through both. And you can start to see that where we've used these different height stitches, we're creating a really nice shape for the top of our skull patch. So rather than just being perfectly round, we've given it a bit of definition to make our shape. We've now come all the way round, and we want to join our second round by taking our hook and joining with a slip stitch into that first chain. So we come under the first chain, in that space to join. So coming in between the first chain and the next stitch along with our hook, grab your yarn from behind, pull it through and through the stitch on your hook to join with a slip stitch. And that completes our 2 full rounds. And we now want to finish off our skull with its jawline and our partial 3rd row. So I'm going to chain 3. So go 1, 2, 3. And then I want to work 1 UK treble, which is 1 US double crochet, into the same space where I joined. So I yarn over, I work back into that same stitch where I joined, hook my yarn, pull through. I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And in the next 2 stitches, so I'm working back into the top of the stitch. In the next 2 stitches, I'm working 2 UK trebles or 2 US double crochets in each stitch. So I'm yarning over into the top of the stitch, grab, pull through, I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I've got 1 more of those in that stitch, so yarn over, back in the same place, hook the yarn from the back, I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I've got that 1 more time in the next stitch along, so yarn over into the next stitch along, grab my yarn, pull through, I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and 1 more of those back in the same stitch to complete my partial row and the jawline for my skull. And then I'm going to fasten off. So to do that, I yarn over, pull through. I want to take my scissors, snip, then I can take my hook, pull that all the way through, give that a tug, give my middle end a tug as well to make sure that I close up that full magic loop. And there you can see our completed skull patch. So I'm now just going to sew in the ends for my final finishing touch. So I'm going to turn my patch over to the wrong side, and you can see the right side is a little bit flatter and you can see the edge of your stitches, whereas on the wrong side it's a little bit more bumpy. I'm taking a tapestry needle and I'm going to thread up my ends and just secure these. So I'm taking my yarn and I'm just going to go along the edge, weaving into the back of the stitches, along the lower part of my jaw. Give it a tug. I then always give it a little pull so I don't misshape my piece. And then I'm going to work back on myself, and this just helps secure your end. Give it a little tug. And then sew my tail isn't right by my edge. I'm going to sew towards the middle. Snip. And then I want to secure my middle. So I've got my needle, thread it up. And make sure when you're sewing in from a magic loop that you're not going back against where you pulled. Go with your yarn so you can see the direction it's coming out. Keep working, following the same direction, weaving through the back of the stitches. Pull. And make sure you weave in enough that it's nice and secure. And I like to then go back against myself at the end just to help it keep nice and secure. Give it a little tug. And then I'm ready to fasten off. Snip. And there you have your mini skull patch. I hope you've enjoyed hooking up your skulls, and if you're joining me for the Halloween patch cal, save this playlist as I'll be adding a new patch video daily over the next week. Happy hooking!